Speaking of top teams around the state, time now to take a look at our Super 7 from week number 5 of the high school football season. These are the top 7 ranked teams in the state, according to the Associated Press. We'll break them down by division, and we'll start at the top with Division 1, and we have a new Division 1, number 1. It's Cincinnati Moeller. They have moved to 5-0. They ascended to the top spot after the prior number 1, Lakewood St. Ed, lost to Massillon, Washington. Moeller's 5-0. They knocked off their, well, it's not fair to say huge rival because every team that Moeller plays in the Greater Catholic League is a huge rival, but it's one of their biggest. They beat St. Xavier last week by the final of 20-17. This week they have a matchup at 2-3, Cincinnati LaSalle. Moeller, the number 1 team in the state now in Division 1. Moving to Division 2, Akron Hoban stays atop at 5-0. They beat Cleveland St. Ignatius last week 28-7. First game this year where they didn't score at least 43 points. They only scored 28 in the win. They have a big one coming up this Friday night when they take on 4-1 Walsh Jesuit. They are the number 1 team in the state in Division 2. Moving down to Division 3, the number 1 team is Hamilton Baden. They've posted back-to-back shutouts. Last week beat Hamilton Ross 23-0. They have a Saturday game coming up. They'll host 3-2 Archbishop Carroll in a matchup. And again, the Division 3 number 1 is Hamilton Baden. Division 4, Cleveland Glenville stays atop the state. They are 5-0, the Tar Blooders this season. It's been interesting, if you look at their schedule, they've shut out 3 of their opponents. The other 2 games, they've won each by a touchdown. Last week, a shutout as they blanked Cleveland Collinwood 44-0. They are at 2-3, Cleveland Rhodes coming up this week. In Division 5, the number 1 ranked team in the state, the Fighting Tigers of Ironton. They only have 2 games left this season with winning teams with winning records, I should say. But both those teams are currently 5-0. Last week, they knocked off the Pointers of South Point 55-12. They play host to 2-3 Chesapeake coming up this Friday night. In Division 6, Marion Local continues to roll right along. Huge win last week. They gave up 16 points, the most they'd given up in a game all season long, because in the prior 4 games, they'd allowed just a grand total of 7 points. They posted 3 straight shutouts going into the game last week. They beat New Bremen again 38-16. They have a huge game coming up with Versailles this week, one of the top-ranked teams in the state in Division 6. Speaking of Division 6, Warren JFK. Division 7, I'm sorry. Division 7, Warren JFK is the number 1 team in the state. They're 5-0. They beat Marlington last week by the count of 28-7. First time they've played a team with a losing record this season. They play at 5-0 Mogador this week, which is number 6 in the state, in Division 6. So that is your Super 7, if you will, around the state of Ohio.